All right, I want to thank y'all for tuning in the video today. Today, we're going to talk about my 2025 order, okay? I went in to place the order with Victoria Dodge here. Great dealership. I know everybody there. Bought lots of trucks from them. We went to try to place the order. There was a few things missing. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait, see if these things populate. Well, I got to looking at the order guides, and I'm not sure that those things are going to populate. I think they may have changed one of those things on the order guides. For example, the rear air suspension is only going to be available on your 1-ton dually. It's not going to be available on the 1-ton single rear wheel according to the order guide. And so since that's on the order guide, I'm thinking it's just not an option, it's not selected, it's just not going to be available on the single rear wheel anymore. I could be wrong. You know, January 7th is the release date. That's when it's coming out, when they're going to do the video and show everything, you know, and probably the website will go live for what you can order. Okay, right now it is somewhat restricted. I'm going to get in there and show you my order sheet in just a second and show you what things I didn't get on my order that I wanted on the order, and why I went ahead and placed the order. Okay, now most of y'all know that it's still the 6.7 Cummins, but we're getting the 8-speed, guys. And I always said if they ever put an 8 or a 10, you know, and I really feel strongly I've had the 24 Ford, I've had the 24 GM, and I have the 24 Ram. Okay, I will tell you, towing power, Ford, yes, has it. The 10-speed is great in its own class, but then when you go back to a Ram and you get to the 6-speed with the exhaust brake, it is just amazing to tow with this ASIN. So, you know, that exhaust brake is just so prominent. It's amazing. So, you know, I think that 8-speed is going to be in between. I think you get 10-speed, you get too many gears, and that exhaust brake kind of fades off into the distance. And everybody's going to say, oh, you can downshift. You can, but I don't want to, right? I want everything to be automatic. And just going to this, I feel like the 8-speed is going to be a really good thing for this Ram. And looking forward to it, you know. So anyway, I feel like home in these trucks, like I said, my wife and I, we drove them for 10 years. They're great vehicles. And so anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the order sheet. Let me open this door up real quick. And guys, this 24 I'm driving is super nice. Like I said, it really feels like home. Now, I'm going to show you on my sheet right here. You can see kind of the options I wanted. So we'll go through it. Limited mega cab. Yep, we got that, not a problem. The limited level 1 package includes the you know, like bed utility group. Night edition, got that on there. Ram box delete. So there wasn't an option for Ram box delete when you're placing your order with your dealer, but if you do the 5th wheel prep, it will automatically delete that. So just knowing when you select the 5th wheel prep, which we have it up there, we'll go through that in just a second, you will get the Ram box delete. But used to, you would actually have to select Ram box delete on a limited. HO Cummins with 8-speed transmission. It's all the same engine now with the 8-speed. Diamond Black's color I picked. Deployable bed step. This is another option that was not available at the time of order, but you can order this. This is like 380 bucks from your parts. I've put them on many of my trucks, and I really have to have them because these trucks get pretty tall with 37s and 2-inch in the back. Sunroof, that was able to order. The other thing was not able to order is trailer tire pressure sensor system. I really like this. I run this on all my vehicles, but the one thing about Ram is you can always turn it on and add the modules. I'm sure the 25 will be the same. I'm not extremely worried about that. The wired tow mode camera, I went ahead and ordered that too, so I would just get a new camera. I have the GM one on my camper. I'm gonna have to swap that one back out to the Ram. But one of the things I really like about the Ram is when you use that port on the bumper, is it actually puts it on the rearview mirror. And you know, that's one of the best places because it's always there. I can look up in that rearview mirror and people say, well, you know, the camera's, it is a little fuzzy, but the difference is when I'm changing lanes, you know, I can see my side mirror, but I can see how fast people are coming. And that's what you miss when you're pulling a trailer is, you know, if somebody's coming on to you at 80, 90 and you look at that side mirror, they're coming on pretty fast. You go to make the move, it's hard to judge how fast they're coming. So I really like that Ram puts the tow mode camera in the rear view mirror. That's one of my favorite things that they do. Now the one thing that GM did this too, and I had to fix this, is they always put this tow mode camera right here on the rear bumper. Well, that's great for a tongue pull, but that's not going to get it done for a 5th wheel. And I really don't like hanging that cord over from the tongue. It's going to scratch your tailgate up or get ripped off or get unplugged. So what I'm going to do is I did the same thing in the GM. I actually took the mount from there, moved it up, and I ordered a Fokker cable. Going to do the same thing in this truck. Basically, I'm going to order this same port right here and just disconnect it, or by a T, And then I'm gonna cut that out right here and put that same door with that camera port so that I can plug it in the bed. So Ram, if you're listening, we really like the camera ports in the bed, not on the bumper. Most people that are towing big trailers, that's where they're at, okay? So we'll get back to the order sheet here. So we got the wired Tomo camera. Now here's the other thing, automatic air suspension. That's what I was just talking about. So this shows on the order guide 3500 dual rear wheel only. If you select this in your order when you're sitting down with the dealer, it's gonna default to dual rear wheel. So you have to delete it and go back to single rear wheel. Now, Snow Chief group and these groups were not available either whenever we went to look. But you can order clearance lights and IP switches and the transfer case skid plates. You know, all those things are individual. So that was interesting that it wasn't in there. That may be something that they're going to populate. I don't know. You know, maybe after January 7th that changes. Hey, they may put air suspension on it after January 7th. But I already have a different plan on the build, and I'm not going to go with the stock air suspension. And we'll talk about that in a minute because I've got a few boxes already stacking up for my 25. All right. So let's go through this real quick. First line, 3500 limited mega cab, 91,860. And then you just add the diesel. It didn't add anything to the price on this one just because it limited already has it as standard equipment in that 91,860. Automatic transmission, diamond black, monotone paint, ultra premium leather seats. Now, another difference I think that we might see, and I'm just guessing, is if you look at the half tons and the limited, this is pleated. It's a little bit different stitching here. And then also there's a little bit like stitching here. Looks a little bit more like the TRX seats on the half tons. And I'm betting you that may be one thing that they're going to add to these trucks. 50-50, not sure. We'll see when the video comes out on January 7th on what they're going to do exactly. But I think that's going to be one of the differences. The other difference is you're going to get a bigger screen. It's not, I mean, I think this one's a 12. I think the other one's like a 14 something. So it just comes out a little bit longer. And it looks a little more integrated with the trailer brake down here at the bottom. So, like I said, not tons of differences on the interior, but mainly just powertrain changes. So get back over here. You can see I added the front license plate bracket. We got the clearance lamps. We added the auxiliary switches, and that was $255. Power sunroof was $11.95. The level 1 group, again, y'all can look at it. This has the spray and bed liner, the lighting in the bed. You know, it's got a lot of things in this level 1 group that it covers. I did add the Tomo digital rearview mirror package. I think that's going to ship me a new camera and the harness for the trailer. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see when it gets here. Night edition looks like it actually went down on pricing a little bit. It was $19.95. Fifth wheel gooseneck towing prep package is only $135. And then I do like the dual alternators. I don't really use the alternators that much, but I like to have the dual set up on every truck that I order, just in case if you have one go out, the other one's going to charge, so it's kind of redundancy. Cold weather group, go ahead and put the block heater in there. We don't need it here in Texas, but figure if I travel north, it won't hurt to have it for $145, I think that was. The transfer case skid plate shield, $95, and then you can see it's just easy order, sold vehicle. And it actually moved it up on the priority since it's a sold vehicle. So like I said, as of today, 27th, I logged in this morning to the order tracking and it still says TBD. I bet we don't get any scheduling on anything till probably the 6th or the 7th. But I'm not sure if the ones of us that ordered back in December, if they're going to prioritize those orders, or if they're just going to throw them all in a batch. Hey, we're going to build 1-ton limiteds. You know, a lot of times that's what I've seen in the past. But I did put a pre-order in for TRX a long time ago, and I was one of the first ones in when they came out, and I was also one of the first ones delivered. So who knows how that's going to go down. So basically that's it. I'm not paying this, but this is what my sticker came out to, was $103,840. The two options I'm missing that I would have liked to have had was the deployable bed step, trailer tire pressure, and the automatic rear air suspension. Now, on this new build, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Logic Air system that I've used on my Fords, used on everything else. They built a really nice system, guys. It's a nice compressor that works with the app, and their bags do not change the ride, and I really like the design of their bags. Over the other brands, I've tried both on all these trucks, and I can tell you that those Air Logic bags don't change your ride. On this one, what I did is I've got the 3 1/4 Carly, you can see in here with the Fox 2.0s. Now, I'm not doing the sway bar on this one yet because I don't want to put it on here because I got to take all this back off. I'm trading this truck in stock, guys. So the Carly radius arms, I'm going to do the radius arm drops because I like to get my caster correct. And so I'm not going to put those things on this truck. I'm just going to drive it until my 25 gets here. Now on the back, what I did on this one, if you do have the factory rear air suspension, you can order what they call Traxta. Traxta makes a 1-inch spacer for the front if you ever need a little extra in the front. They also make airbag spacers, and make sure you select 1 ton, but it's for the factory airbags. And so I did the 2-inch block back here, you can see right there, and then that's the Traxta 2-inch bag spacer. So all you do is add the block kit, throw those spacers in there, and then I've got Fox 2.0s in the back. You do all that, it's good to go, right? Now this truck still has about a 1/2 to 3/4 inch rake, and I'm not looking to do that on my new truck, so I'm going to do the 1-inch spacer kit. Actually, what I'm going to do is the Carly Attapack, and I'm going to leave the 1-inch block that comes out. That makes it a little bit more of a progressive rate, but it doesn't let you lose any of the payload. Okay, you can do the full Devers, you lose a little payload, then you can add it with the bags, but for me, I'm just going to do the Attapacks and make it ride a little bit better in the back, because I'm going to be all spring on the back. We're not doing the air ride. And anyway, so like I said, this is a 3/4 Carly, the 2-inch in the back. If I was redoing it or doing it again, if you pull trailers, you know, I think it would look great if that was the 1-inch kit. So if you've got a factory rear air suspension, you're doing the 3 1/4 in front, I think you should pair it up with a 1-inch in the back. So anyway, but that's really it. I just wanted to kind of tell y'all I did get my order in. December 13th was when it was placed, and I will update, you know, if I get a build date or anything like that. I'm checking it every morning basically just to see what the status is. But like I said, meanwhile, I'm really enjoying this 24. I would say there's pros and cons to every one of these trucks, and I'm going to do a video because I've had the 24 Fords, I've had the 24 GM, and I've had the 24 Ram. So I'm not comparing a 2018 model to a 24 model. You know, I can tell you the pros and cons between all 3 of these trucks. They're all really good. They will all do the job, but I'm gonna try to get a video out for you just to kind of talk about what I really like about things on some of them and what I don't like about other things. Okay, you know, just for example, like with this Ram, the instrument cluster is great. It's the nicest looking, cleanest instrument cluster in a vehicle that I think that I've ever had. And the information that's paired in this instrument cluster, we'll let that buzzer go off. And this is stuff that'll be in my next video. But really like the speedometer layout on it, you know. And then when you go to reverse, it automatically goes to the park, minimizes all that, and as soon as you go back to park, speedometer comes back on. But you know, if you go into your vehicle info, I mean, like this screen right here, you've got your oil life, oil temp, oil pressure, tire pressures, boost, exhaust brake, and diesel particulate filter. I mean, the way this is just laid out to me, coolant temp, trans temp, battery voltage. I mean, I like that you have the range down on the empty, the def on the left side, your coolant. This one's oil life, oil temp, oil pressure. Just so many different configurations that you can put in here. And also, if you're driving, it's really nice to be able to have that map come up. You can see it right there in the screen. So anyway, that's a lot of what we'll talk about in the next video. And I've got a towing video coming up with this one too. We're gonna hook it onto my big toy hauler. I'm gonna put the card in it. We're gonna load it down. I'm gonna go drive this Ace and just kind of give you a comparison. I will say that this truck, along with the Ford, has given way better fuel mileage with 37s and level than I've seen on other trucks. So anyway, yeah, like I said, we'll get into that in the future. But again, thanks for watching. If the video helped you, please hit that like and subscribe, and I'll try to keep you updated on what's going to happen with this order. And anyway, if you're looking at a 25 and you kind of know what you want and you're okay without those options, you know, you can see what comes out. But I would say get down and go and get your order placed and get in line, because like I said, they're gonna have a lot of inventory orders. And I think Ram's actually working on a system to where if you've placed orders before, that they look at it and they prioritize it, which would be interesting, because you know, I've ordered a lot of Ram trucks, so it'll be interesting to see how this works. But anyway, if you liked the video, please hit that like, please subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.